To jest dobre. Słuchajcie, czajcie to, że wyszedł ostatnio patch do Warcrafta 3? Tylko wiecie, co zrobił Blizzard w tym patchu do Warcrafta 3? Normalnie wyszedł patch balansujący Warcrafta 3. Ściągnął damage ghoulom. Ja nie mam pojęcia, kto generalnie nadzoruje te patche, ale to jest idiotyczny patch, bo ghule nigdy nie były dobre. Ghule naprawdę były bardzo, ale to bardzo rzadko używane do jakichś strategii typowo raszujących, ale kryptwindy zawsze były pod ekonomicznym względem lepsze. No były po prostu zoptymalizowane, no nie? Względem wydawanego golda, zadawanych obrażeń, ilości życia, możliwości kajtowania, blokowania, czegokolwiek innego, no nie? Ghule zawsze były gówniane w tej grze. Blizzard wypuścił patch i znerfił damage na ghulach. Ja nie wiem, o co chodzi. Obejrzymy sobie ziomeczka, który faktycznie jest sporo o Warcrafcie gada i cały czas niego gra.
Actually did it.
A to jest masakra jak chuj, nie?
Ghouls. Can you believe it? Perhaps some of you can. And maybe it's because of one man. This guy. This Giga Chad right here.
Czyli co, jest jeden ziomek, który pewnie na turnieju zagrał, tak? Jakąś taktykę na gule, albo często gra gule i mu dobrze wychodzi, to stwierdzili, że je trzeba znerfić, gdzie przez 20 lat gule nie były jakoś szeroko używane.
No one can stop him. He's now over there. He's so powerful, so strong. Such a force to be reckoned with that even this man can make ghouls scary. Because normally the rest of us dispose of them. They think, what is this weak unit? Barely worth using. I'd much rather use a fiend, much more reliable DPS. No. He likes the ghouls. And now he's going to struggle with them. I don't know, actually. It'd be interesting to see how this goes down. Ghouls have been nerfed by 1 damage. It's shocking. Shocking, I tell you. There's more to this patch as well. So a patch has gone through. It's been in the works for a little while, and Blizzard hadn't quite committed to it, but now they have. So the ghouls that we know and love, well, we got them here. I can do a little demonstration for you guys to show. So, for example, I'm going to have these attack this, and we're going to just do dash DPS. It only works on one of them, so... Oh my gosh, look at that frame rate drop. Maybe we won't do that. Okay, I've got a serious problem with that frame rate. Hang on a second. I guess what we can just do is simply have them attack. So go hostile. And then we can just do the math. They stay at 10,000 health, these test dummies. So what we'll do is we'll let the ghouls attack for, I don't know, about 20 hits or something like that. That's more than enough to really get an explanation as to what the difference is here between the 12 to 14 and the 11 to 13. So 12 to 14...
Ja się sobie nad jedną rzeczą zastanawiam, tak bardziej z tymi liczbami. Wszystkie liczby punktów życia w Warcrafcie są even. Jak jest even po polsku? Jezu, aż mi brakuje słowa. Parzyste, no nie? Czy zmiana punktów damage'a na nieparzyste nie sprawi, że częściej będzie doprowadzone do sytuacji, w której ktoś zostanie na 1 HP?
14 is what they used to do. The top is what they used to be. 11 to 13 is what they are now. So...
Niby, wiecie, to jest 11 do 13 i może ci losować 12 w rzucie. W rzucie 12-14 też ci może losować 13 częściej, ale chyba mogło... Nie wszystkie, ktoś miał chyba 555, no ale no, raczej 90% jest parzyste, no nie? W sumie ciekawy jestem pod takim względem, jakby to gdzieś policzyć matematycznie, czy nie doszłoby częściej do sytuacji, w której ktoś jest na 1 hita, no nie? Jeżeli by stosować tylko gule. To musiałby ktoś mądry to policzyć. To już jest zbyt zaawansowana matematyka dla mnie.
Ready to do some math? I need to call off my ghouls. So call them off. And then now we can see 9569.
9569 do...
And 9605.
50 z kawałkiem różnicy.
So we want to do some math on this, do we now? So you can see that's the difference there. Let's just say after about 20 hits. I didn't count, but you can get an idea. They both...
No to są, mając paczkę guli, no to są 2 hity, nie? Dwa jakieś takie konkretne hity. 2, 3 może takie wymiany, no nie? No to 50 HP, no to przy słabych jednostkach to dosłownie stary, no stanowi więcej niż 10% ich życia. Ile ma gul życia? 340. Ile ma łuczniczka? Ze 180, z 220? Ile ma łuczniczka?
Basically hit at the same time over and over. And now you've got that much more of a difference after that many hits. So
A beka, bo
it's
podaje
not
liczby, których
huge.
totalnie nie pamiętam. Bez kitu, ciekawe jestem, jak się pomyliłem. Ile ma najtelficka łuczniczka życia w Warcrafcie?
there's about 50 damage loss, 40 damage loss, something like that.
To jest
What
duży
would you
nerf.
say?
To jest
Over
kurwa
about
duży.
20 hits.
140.
Not massive, but it probably is going to be somewhat noticeable. A more easy way to tell, I
Patrz,
think, would be
na
something
grupie
like
to
this,
testuję,
where you're realistically
faktycznie,
going to be
po
creeping,
tradzie.
right? You might use something like 4 ghouls to creep a camp, or 4 or 5 ghouls. So I've got 4 ghouls. These are the old ones. These are the new ones. And they're going to basically make them attack this troll berserker. And
kurwa.
the idea would be to see which one goes down first. Sort of like the difference, right?
No to
So you
jest
can see
spora
how many
różnica.
extra hits you might have to do.
Tak samo szybko je prawie ściągnęli. W sensie w tą samą liczbę hitów na przeciwniku ją ściągnęli. Ja byłem ciekawy, czy ten przeciwnik zada jednego hita więcej, no nie?
So that required that extra volley.
Ale nie, zadał chyba tu nawet, ale to chyba jest kwestia... ten ma mniej życia górny, więc musiały się większe widełki chyba
But I
wylosować.
think it's very
275 ma łączniczkę, okej.
minor, but it is noticeable. If you're playing at a higher level, you will notice that.
Ale poczekaj, na dole były stare gule, czyli na górze... Nie, dobra, to dobrze gadam, bez kitu.
That extra volley could make the difference there. If it was 5 ghouls, that would have been a clean kill. And then in this case, they would have had to do one more extra swing, which is one more extra bit of damage, which is a few more extra seconds, which is that time before you move the ghouls at the next creep camp to move out with your hero to then go harass or something like that. And all of this stuff at the higher level definitely ticks. So the question is can Happy still make these ghouls work? What does Happy think about these ghouls? Is he happy about it? I don't know. But you guys, you tell me. I don't think this is going to break anyone's world, but it is weird to see sort of like just this
Nie, to
minus
jest
1
dziwny,
damage on
kurwa,
the
nerf.
ghouls.
Serio, to jest dziwny nerf, bo to nie były częste w użyciu jednostki. Ja go nie rozumiem, ale no też nie jestem kompetytnym
For
graczem
those of you that
Warcrafta.
don't know how the damage thing works, basically, it used to be a 10 damage base. Now it's a 9. So it's the 9 damage plus the first damage number of dice. So that bumps it up to 11. And then you add the 2, which is the damage sides per die, onto that 11, which makes it 11 to 13. So that's how it works here. So you can see the school's got 11 to 13. So they effectively just removed 1 point of damage. But I think that it's going to be annoying. However, remember the archers and the range units did get that 10% less damage done as well from their piercing. So ghouls are like
To jak w segmencie atakowania bez kitu tam przy jakichś 20 atakach, nie wiem ile to trwało, było 50 HP różnicy, no to jest 20% HP łuczniczki, nie? To jest bardzo
better
dużo.
against piercing. So they should still be relevant. I certainly don't think they're going to fall off the charts, but not many people can use ghouls effectively without them getting utterly destroyed by creep camps and, you know, most of the other players. It's quite hard to micro them. So this is the question is, should ghouls be nerfed just because Happy's so gosh darn good? Because he plays undead exceptionally well. He's effectively perfected it. He's a man that can... I mean, Obsidian statues, the guys that provide the mana, right? These guys are really good, just even on an average player, but a guy that knows what he's doing and can actively use the hotkeys and move the statues as he's moving his army as well, which almost none of us can do effectively.
Tytuły to się rekrutowały 3, 2 na manę, 1 na życie, żeby nowe coile spamować i to się po prostu na Licha albo na Death Knighta rzucało, żeby biegało. I ktoś tym umie kajtować i ja pierdolę, to jest tak potężna
These are
jednostka.
insane if you know how to actually micro these, but it's a hell of a lot of effort to do that and feel comfortable doing that on top of it. So Happy's the kind of player that can kind of do that sort of thing. He gets like he basically squeezes all of the juice from the lemon. He doesn't even leave a single drop left in the rind, the peel. Nothing is left behind.
To jest w sumie najciekawsze, no nie? Jak dobrze Warcraft okazał się zbalansowany po czasie, że te wszystkie rasy są w miarę playable, no nie? Wiadomo, to nie było tak zbalansowane na premierę, ale teraz, po tylu latach, jak świetnie broni się Warcraft.
I don't know what his thoughts are on this. I'd be interested to see what his thoughts are. Apparently I need a VPN. Okay. I better get on that. Thank you, Blizzard. I don't know, that's part of the patch. There is more to do with this patch, though. That was just the funny bit with the ghoul. Now we have the map hack thing being dealt with. I was told about this. Control-C camera lock will no longer track units that leave a player's vision. So you could use Control-C, apparently, on an enemy unit as they go off into the fog of war, and then you can sort of still roughly track where they were. Although I suppose you would have to just follow that unit, and you wouldn't be able to micro your own units whilst you're watching it. So it will give you an indication as to which direction they're going off to. I don't think this is something that was ever going to be really used to like give yourself map hack. It's just it's another sort of minor thing that would like give you an indication what your opponent's doing, which you're not supposed to have. So they dealt with it. Blizzard dealt with that. So good for them. Added hints for AMD and Nvidia drivers to use discrete GPUs. I don't know what the heck that means, other than hoping that the Warcraft 3 Reforged can run on your computer. Maybe some more advice on how to get it to do that.
Jest late joining,
And
kurwa, do
then
mapek.
these, I don't know. But this one is actually really cool. Increased the tile set limit from 16 to 24. Please note that using more tile set textures may significantly increase the load time of the map. Use with caution. Yeah, I always wondered about this, because it used to be capped to 16, but now we go up to 64. It's a bit like they just let so many people play on Warcraft 3 now, potentially. Not that we ever get this, but, 24 players. It never used to be that many. You never used to be able to get that. At best, you could get 12 players, and it just boosted right up to 24. So this change increases the number of the something file. I don't think we're going to worry too much about that. Added an option under the Advanced tab. I don't think that's relevant. So if we come back over to here, and we look, for example, to modify the tile set, when you make a map in Warcraft 3, you either use one of the tile sets, be it Lordaeron, Black Citadel, Ice Crown. So do you want it to be snowy? Do you want it to be dark and dank? Do you want it to be jungly? You got different types.
Nawet nie wiedziałem, że to
But what
miało
this does
limit.
now is this means that people creating an RPG or something, or any map
Właśnie,
really,
różne typy biomów
can
nie
have
można
more
robić.
diversity in their
Fenomenalne. Tylko, że już nikt nie
in their
robi
maps.
mapek do Warcrafta,
So
nie?
you don't have to just stick to like barony grey tiles or green everywhere. You can chuck in some snow, you can chuck in some some fire, and you don't just have to have one or two of those tiles. You can have a lot of them, up to 64, which is huge. So you can really just basically stick a whole ton of these, because each one is about 2, 4, 6, 8. It's 8 to 10 probably tiles per set. So that's an extra 6 maps right there. It's not all of them, of course. You will still have to be a little bit picky on what you choose, but generally speaking, it's pretty damn cool. You can add in that many more. So I think that's a really cool feature for those map makers in Warcraft 3. Let's have a look and see if there's anything else to do with this patch. An issue on Royal Gardens where the northeast green camps were too close to each other. I never knew that was enough of an issue, but that has been dealt with. And that was the ghouls being nerfed. Dark Ranger Drain Life can no longer target herself, so she can no longer effectively off herself by sucking herself. So I guess Blizzard have removed Sylvanas' OnlyFans account. Bug fixes. Fixed a crash that could occur when creating an invalid Uber splat. Fixed a crash that would sometimes occur when loading a sound file. Fixed several bugs in some cases that cause memory to become corrupted, which would then lead to potential random crashes later in the game. That could be big for us, potentially. If we're playing a custom game and you get these kind of desyncs that could occur because of memory leaks. So that would be nice. I hope that will help.
Late
Fix issue where
joining
mouse
niech
buttons were
dodadzą.
issuing incorrect commands. That's weird. Don't know that. And the heroes in the War Chasers custom map now have inventory slots, so we have an excuse to go play War Chasers again at some point. So that's it, really.
Musimy
It was a
przyspieszyć
small
War
patch,
Chasery.
very minor, but it was funny, mostly just because of the ghoul and how that might affect things.
Kurwa, dziwny
So
patch.
you guys let me know what you think about the ghoul
Nie wiem,
things really, mostly more than anything else.
Ostatnio też
Do you
przecież
think
Blizzard zmienił kolizję abominacji i Gruby to chyba tłumaczył, jak bardzo to nie ma sensu, bo to się teraz nie nakłada jakoś względem blokowania tam konkretnej ilości abominacji, którą się rekrutowało. Teraz ta zmiana z tymi gulami dziwne,
This little
kurwa.
fella deserves to have 1 damage chipped off of his claw. It's like he's got his nails filed or something like that. What are you thinking? He looks like he's quite peppy. He doesn't deserve it. I think Blizzard might have been a bit cruel to the ghoul.
No.
I think what they need to do is perhaps make it so the ghoul isn't so powerful at tier 3. That's where the power spike is, where undead straight tech to tier 3. And then they get the movement speed. And that's when the ghouls really become scary, because they're like attacking. And they're fast. And they got the unholy aura from the Death Knight. So they're constantly keeping up with the units. And there's a whole bunch of them. They are very intimidating when you get to that stage. But before that point, yes, they are technically quite efficient creepers. They're wood workers. They can get you wood, lumber, and then you can use them to creep. Higher level players will do well with this, but then again, Night Elf have Ancients of War to creep camps they shouldn't really be able to do, and Orc are just OP in general. They got Blade Master Mirror Image, so fuck Orc. And then humans have Militia, but they've always had Militia. That used to be the thing that made humans strong for being human, but then every other race just got to kind of do what human does. AK, in this case, they would use ghouls to creep afterwards if they're being efficient through like harassing with a hero, and then all you have to do is pay a bit of attention to micro. So you get the lumber in for the ghouls, you get the lumber in that you need for your future tech, and then you can use the ghouls to start creeping camps whilst your hero's away, because your hero gets 100% of the experience, because it's global experience. So this is the beauty of doing that. And yeah, like I say, Night Elf never used to really Ancient of War creep, and then that became a thing. So back in the day, if Blizzard knew about Ancient of War creeping, would they have allowed them to have it? Would they have made human militia better for future cases to compensate for Night Elf having these kind of
Dziwne,
powers?
patrz. Nie? Serio. Mega, kurwa, dziwne informacje. Ja nie do końca kminię, no nie?